If you're stressed, overwhelmed, extremely anxious, tired, or in general want to begin your self-improvement, where you need to start are with routines. Why? Well, it's because there's so much chaos in our lives, in the settings of our schools and our workplaces. There's so much that distracts us. And that's why it's so important that we have these anchor points scheduled in our days that are in our control, that allow us to recalibrate. And the morning routine video that I had already done had done so well. And I truly believe it's because it was practical, okay? It wasn't like every other YouTube video where it's these 20-step morning routines where, yes, there's some incredible benefits that come from them, but how many people in the larger audience is able to stick to that, to actually reap those benefits? And I believe not many. And the morning routine was all about simplicity, about effectiveness where it counts. And this video is going to be the exact same idea. They're harmonious, right? If you're going to do the nighttime routine well, it's gonna set you up well for a morning routine and vice versa. So I'm super excited to get into this. My name is June Yu. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I really do believe that whenever I mentor somebody, whenever I try to help somebody get out of a rut, or even myself, when I try to pull myself out of a rut, these anchor points are the first things that I look to. These are ones in which usually when things go awry in my life, it's because I've deviated away from it, that life had gotten so chaotic that I've pulled myself away from what those anchor points look like in the mornings and at night. And then when I revert back to them, usually things start to get better. So I hope that this video will be extremely helpful to you. With that all being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. It all starts at 8:30 p.m. when night alarm number 1 rings. What does the first night alarm mean? Well, I've spoken a lot about these night alarms throughout my videos, and it's because I truly have understood the profound impact that they've had on my life when I first started using them about 5 years back, okay? And this is the idea that everyone has alarms in the mornings when they wake up, but usually what they don't have are alarms to help them understand how to navigate their nights as well. And I think it's truly important because how many times do we get so sucked up in our work, or we're watching a Netflix movie, or we are speaking with our friends and time just kind of goes without us noticing it, right? And then if that impacts the amount of sleep that we get, it's going to negatively impact the next day. And that tends to be a rolling ball, a snowball effect that it's just going to deteriorate your productivity and not improve it. The 2 night alarms that I'll be speaking about in this video have 2 distinct functions. And this first one is to indicate that it's time to put away the work. It's time to stop the conversation. It's time to turn off the music and initiate this nighttime routine. And truly, it is so powerful because I've gotten in the bad habit in the past where I get really lost in my work, or really lost in movies or YouTube videos or deep conversations with friends. And I find myself sacrificing sleep, and I tell myself, oh, it's just 15 minutes, oh, it's just 20 minutes, oh, it's just 30 minutes. But that lack of discipline really does catch up in terms of having those damaging effects in your lack of sleep, right? And you don't want that. And so this first one is to indicate to myself, hey, June, just stop those types of activities and initiate your nighttime routine. And sometimes I'll also play a Spotify playlist here that's with a little bit more relaxing music for myself as another indicator that it's time to start winding down. Because fatigue will have started to hit me by now, I'll go into the bathroom and I will start to wash up. I'll go throughout my skincare routine, and I'll also have to blow dry my hair because when you have longer hair, you have to keep it more taken care of. And I've gotten the really bad habit of going to bed with wet hair, and that damages my hair a lot. And so I'm trying to get in the better habit of blow drying my hair at this time. And then I'll also brush my teeth, but just going out throughout that process where I'm splashing water in my face, right? Where I hear a little bit more loud noises, but the blow dryer tends to wake me up just a little bit more. It's a good change of pace for myself. And so that as I enter the next steps of the nighttime routine, I'm not like dragging myself through it. At about 9 p.m., this is where for about 15 minutes, I'll simply clean. And I love waking up to a clean apartment, but man, I'll be the first to admit I get pretty messy throughout the day. And I like to think it's because my attention and focus is all on being more productive throughout the day. And so that means that after I eat a meal, I'm not immediately going to wash the dishes, right? I'm not immediately going to wipe down my kitchen table. I'm not immediately going to put away everything in my kitchen. I'm not going to clean up my desk as much as I probably should. But this 15 minutes is my opportunity to batch all of that, right? So I'll take out the trash, I'll put the dishes in the dishwasher, I'll clean up my desk. And it's just a really good way of keeping myself accountable for this, because in the past, I used to just leave it all the way to the weekend, and that would take up a whole morning or a whole even like day of just cleaning, and I felt not the best use of my time. So I'll do deeper cleaning on the weekends, but each day for about 15 minutes. minutes, I'll just ensure that I'm waking up to a pretty darn clean apartment. At about 9:15 p.m., this is where I initiate my prep time for the next day. And if you're not preparing, you're preparing to fail, right? And I found myself, especially because my peak productivity window is in the mornings, and that's for that 90-minute, 3-hour block in which it's going to be leveraged for the most demanding tasks. It requires a ton of cognitive effort. I don't want to be entering those peak productivity windows trying to figure out, hey, what assignment did I have to do? Hey, I know that I had a certain task, but I don't remember what it was. Hey, when was this due? Hey, where's my resources? It's not a good way to start that peak productivity window. I want to go into it already having that, so I'm setting myself up for success. And so this is where I'll ensure that my calendar is really up to date. And I do a pretty good job of updating that calendar throughout the day already, so there's not much to do here. But in case that I put something on my journal or something on my note sheet, this is a good opportunity to transfer it over for the next day, so I have a plan for it. And I really do believe this is a good habit to get into, because a lot of us are really great at making tasks or creating these large to-do lists, but we're not so good at prioritizing them. And when you don't prioritize them, usually they don't get done. And that's not a good thing, right? So this is a good time for you to ensure that you're allocating time for it. If it's important for yourself, you're going to make time for it the next day, or you're going to make time for it throughout the week, right? And so I'll go ahead and do that. I'll ensure that whatever I have for that peak productivity window the next day, those tabs are already open, those assignments are open. Maybe I'll already have my iPad out with the learning system out as well, just so that when I get up and I'm doing my peak productivity window, I'm ready to go. I can just turn on my laptop screen, turn on both my monitors, and bam, let's get to it. And also, if I'm going ahead and working out in the mornings, I'll also have my gym clothes out, but usually I'll work out later in the day, so I'll just have my outfit for school ready. This just allows me to not waste cognitive effort making these micro decisions throughout the day. We make thousands of these micro decisions. Reduce them as much as possible so you are reserving your energy for areas that actually matter. And at about 9:30 p.m., there's a 30-minute block here in which I reserve for my reflections. And this is another topic that I've talked about extensively in my past videos, and it's really cool because I'm showing you how I actively apply these on a daily basis. But the first 15 minutes will be my journaling, and I've done journaling in the morning with my scripture reading, but this is my opportunity to really recap on the day and ask myself some hard-hitting questions of, hey June, what were your weaknesses? What are areas in which you can improve upon for tomorrow? And hey June, what were some of your strengths? What can you build upon for tomorrow? And this is a really great transition into what I do next, which is tracking my wins. And many of you have seen this already because I post about a lot of my stories, and many of you have been posting it and sharing it with me by tagging me and using the hashtag Junes3Wins. That's been a really, really, really surreal experience because I've been adopting this framework for about 5 to 7 years. I say 5 to 7 because the first 2 years were really on and off, but I really attribute a lot of my success today to that framework because it allows you to see life in a completely different lens. And so it's this idea that if you're able to build upon yourself in areas that really matter, right, and not get so sucked up in the external distractions in our digital era today, you're going to have some tremendous success. My mental wins, my physical wins, my spiritual wins, these are things that I stack on a daily basis. I'll use my Notion templates to ensure that I'm keeping track of them. And then I'll close off my reflection period with a prayer. And this is my opportunity to thank God for allowing me to do everything this past day, and also asking him that everything that I do tomorrow may be glorifying to him too. And then when 10 p.m. rolls around, night alarm number 2 goes off, and this is an indication to me, no more screen time. Go ahead and close out everything, turn off everything, and also lower your AC because we know that your body, in order to enter deep sleep, needs to drop about 1 to 3 degrees. So this is me aiding that process. But if you don't have control over your thermostat, that's okay. Go ahead and open up a window or turn on a small fan. It'll mimic the same behavior. But really, that's it. Then I'll go to bed and fall asleep pretty darn quickly because I'm usually pretty exhausted by now. And also, this whole process is pretty therapeutic and really simple, and I can really turn off my brain at this point. So I don't have trouble going to bed at this point. But hopefully everything here in this video has really highlighted the fact that it can be super simple, okay? It doesn't have to be this extensive process, but also if you're able to really put emphasis on areas that you know are actually going to make an impact for yourself the next day, then it feels really good, right? It allows you to get back on track. It allows you to have this anchor point, again, trying to connect it back to what we said in the beginning, that makes it feel like it's in your control, that allows you to go ahead and go to bed and realize, yeah, I'm good, I'm set. This day has been completed. I have really wrapped it up in a manner that's important to me, and now I can go to bed and not think about anything. So I really hope that you're able to take this nighttime routine on. And if I've missed anything, and if you think that it could be improved in some way, please let me know in the comments. I love having those conversations with you. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe. So until next time, please take care, and I love you guys, and I'll see you all at the top.